Hello, everyone. This is Doc, former owner of Divine Beast modding for Path of Titans and the community. Um, it's been a week since all the bad things basically went down, and some time to reflect, time to talk to people, time to be scolded by people, time to be, talk to people about, you know, support or whatever it was. I think I'm at a point now where I can, with a pretty clear head, talk about it. I want to make one thing sure because I heard it and it is just not okay. Please, even if you completely support me, don't go after people that don't deserve it. Don't go after Mangle, Laika, Flemmy, anyone else that's affiliated with DB. It's not okay. Okay? As much as there is bad blood between us now, I still respect them. Please don't fight battles for me. I haven't asked you guys to do so. Just don't do that, please. Okay? That is first. Um, I'm going to timeline this as well as possible, so hopefully it makes sense what I'm saying. You can make up your own minds. That is obviously completely up to you guys. I've been struggling for way longer than just these last couple of weeks. I would say that my struggles started like around 2 years ago when my health started deteriorating again after I, in 2019, had a heart attack. Health wise, didn't start to look too good. In that time, I tried to keep up with DB. I tried to give people a platform, and to enable them to do things, and just try to make a nice community. I undoubtedly make mistakes in that, but I never did so in, a heinous or malicious, type of mind. I always tried to do the right thing. If that always happened, that is a second thing. I've been struggling for a long time, and that for someone that would say that mentally they were pretty strong, sometimes hard to admit that mentally you start to not be so strong. So the last 2 years have just been kick after kick after kick in my for myself. First of the health, then I had a fall, which I have a broken spine vertebrae for. Which I, at least for the next year, still need to work hard before I can get even surgery for it, because like the optics are at the moment more towards, if I do it now, gonna be paralyzed type thing. So this just next year is gonna be painful as well. Most of you will know my relationship with both Gisli and Laika. Gisli has been with me for 6 years. I considered him a brother. I stuck my neck out for him to, be able to do what he seemed to be so good in doing. And, I trusted him. I just did. Laika came later, first as an animator. I don't want to go too far into it, but we had a relationship for a while until earlier this year. Between us, it wasn't going too well, but I wouldn't say that we broke in bad terms. It was very much a, we need to figure things out without pressure, and I don't know where this is gonna go type thing. And there, I think, is my biggest mistake, because I started to realize I have mental problems that I needed to work past. I was stupid enough to, for sure, tell Gisli, everything about them. I won't go too much into detail of what that is, but basically, with what we know now about Gisli personally, I really feel that, there is, responsibility for me there. Like, if I didn't trust that, then that would have never happened. and wouldn't have been enabled as long as it was. Um, so let's rewind the clock back like 2 weeks with all this in mind. 2 weeks ago, I get a message by a user who I obviously am not going to name. They basically came to me like, they were part of the mod team icon-wise at some point. They were like, "Oh, sorry, that I haven't done much, but this and this and this, and normally my basically, activity is based on Gisli." So I was already looking a little bit like, okay. Then I got basically the question like, have you heard anything from Gisli? Because like normally he would always speak to me until like a month ago. That was a little bit weird to me. Gisli just like 2 weeks before that mentioned to me that he had a stalker. So I very much felt like this is the stalker, probably, right? Turns out it wasn't. This was someone that was apparently dating them for 8 years and started dating them when they were a minor at around 12 years old. That really gave me like alarm bells because Gisli always told me that he was 23, and at this point where we are in the timeline he would have been 25, 26. So alarm bells, I get high command together. I'm already breaking down because it's like, that's my brother, my friend. Like, what the fuck, what's happening here? So I get high command involved. We go look into it and land on, oh shit, this is really bad. We at a date have like a big 6-hour call with Gisli, in which he multiple times lied, especially for example to one question where I asked like, is there more women involved than just this one? He said to my face, no, this is the only one. So okay, we were like, he was like, oh, I don't want to lose you guys. What can I do to prove myself? At that point, Mango started with, I want to see your ID. I did too. Mango started that. I will not trust you until you show me the ID. By his own admission, his ID was in the other room and he was gonna get it. Went away, didn't return. So the call ended. Later he messages me like, oh, my mom doesn't want to give the idea, because like his claim was he was 21 and he lied about his higher age, which again, we never got an ID. His victim said that they were waiting for over 4 years for his ID, and our stories, which makes it really bad. Now comes the day after. Again, I'm just assuming like, okay, maybe not. Let's hope he gives the proof and that it's just a stupid action. Day after, I found more people that had the exact same thing going on as his ex or 8-year girlfriend, whatever you want to call it. So my alarm bells really started to ring into how many more are there. Turns out that my ex, so Laika, was one of those and was currently his latest victim, pretty much. That broke me because of all the things that I said to Gisli, and him saying to them that, oh, he's messaging me. I don't know why he's not messaging you. Oh, he never talks about you, when he knew well enough that I always did, because I still had feelings for them. That felt like the biggest betrayal. I don't blame Laika one bit. They had it rough. They had it really rough. And, I can just not get myself to blame them for that specifically, But Gisli, obviously, that was like a heart wrencher. pretty much. I was already low. I was telling everyone, like, basically almost as a plea, like, I feel that I'm responsible for some of this. And this might sound really weird, but they were just saying, this is not you, this is not you, this is not you. And that was kind of pissing me off, because I was like, it needs to mean something. Let this mean something, because like this is just like, I don't know what this is. And that puts us to my mistake with Leica. I very much, knowing how they are, basically just posted an old selfie, pretended that it was new. That was the thing that I did. I wanted them to question me, to, for lack of a better term, get a fix in, what I was just not getting from everyone. And that's selfish, stupid, shouldn't have done that, should have known better. But I wasn't thinking. That's the only thing that I can say about that. Like, I was more like, what is this even about? Like, what are you trying to gain? So they weren't, biting how I was thinking they would, and that is when I said, like, this and this and this. Obviously, that's lost trust. I get it, all of that. So they were like, we cannot work together. I get it. It was a little bit of a back and forth about DB and stuff like that. They wanted to leave with an announcement. We landed kind of on that I was going to give, see what would happen with DB, and they would just move on. The reality went a little bit different, and it's mostly because of misunderstandings. I cannot really blame, but it still happened. Because there was pressure from around people that are close to both sides, to where they were like, you should probably go and do something else, or heal or whatever, but don't drag DB down with you. So with all that pressure and all that being said, at a certain point, I was just like, okay, well, you guys can leave now, and then I can handle the rest. They were thinking that I was just putting it to other people and not doing anything behind the scenes, which I was. But after that, they still didn't really want to leave, and that got me to the point where I was like, okay, then I'll just be the bad guy. I get you guys out and do the rest. So I banned them. Didn't say anything or do any more announcements after that, because that announcement was pretty much just because they were blaming more on me than just this. They also blame, like, what happened with DB in the past, which I just have to be honest. When other people are also in high command and they want to complain about it, that's fine, but don't make it out to be only me in that case. I got you guys in as well. Like, then we share it, right? Plus, make it not out that it's something evil, because like, I always tried to do the best. I always tried to believe in people. I tried to protect people from, unwanted scrutiny. I did all the hard announcements, even though they were not my idea sometimes. That's all things, that I did for them. And then I get blamed for, oh yeah, well, there were things in the community that gone wrong, and things that should have been done different and stuff. Okay, fine. But, does that need to be like, completely put out as some sort of hit? So I was like, okay, in that case, then also say the why, because like, it's not like I'm breaking down for nothing here. It's not that I'm just been breaking down for the last 2 weeks, and this. They didn't want to do that, so I was like, okay, then I'll send the screenshot, and that's it. That's obviously a little bit before the ban, but mind all over the place type thing. Then comes the thing with the mod. I did put 2 people on there that were saying, like, I want to help with, like, preservation of the mods. I was like, yeah, you know what, fine. Everyone wants it gone anyway, so whatever, sure. Um, Took a little bit of time. Eventually got Jiggy to transfer it, and after I got like, I want the blend files. I was like, blend files? I don't have the blend files anymore. I have it of new stuff. I don't have it of old. The old I deleted. Like, these are all paid accounts that they're stored at. I'm not gonna keep those paid accounts if everyone wants me gone, you know? That became a whole thing like, okay, so you destroyed the mods, blah, 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 blah. I said, well, even without, which by the way is true, please do your research. Even without, you can still update everything you want. Also, the only thing that is extra for blend files is if you want to change animations or change a subspecies or, you know, do something along those lines. But then still you could do that even without. It's just a little bit harder. So I gave that as solution, and it was just like, you're lying, blend files now. And I was like, then it was also about the new stuff, which, here comes the thing. Yes, people did a lot of work on it. Yes, you know, people deserve something because of that. For example, Urano, I gave the Mansory, they made like 15 skins for it or something. I think that's fair. Titanovenator, TH worked a lot on with me and Mateus, and, you know, that's fair. He gets Titanovenator. But some of these other things are literally mine, nobody worked on yet. I don't, you know, and that is just where I'm like, why does that need to be in? I want to be done with this. And instead of talking about it, it became demands. It became demands like, you have to give it, you owe it to the community. Which I'm like, the community for over 4 years have been not really too supportive, have been great in the you know in some ways and then awful in others. What do I own? Any. You can say that how you want. That's just a thought. I personally would rather have nothing goes in the game at the moment. I feel that this game kind of ruined, you know, my life in a sense. That is, by the way, nothing to Matt and Jiggy. I love them, and you know the chances that they gave and the opportunity that they gave. I love the game as a concept. I will not miss anything, you know, have any good feelings about the modding community per se. That's personal. But instead of talking about it, this became all like smear campaign posts about, oh, the mods are destroyed, which, just saying, all here, this is all you need. You can literally just go in here and all the files are still there. You can just keep these mods in the game forever. And even if you want to change any of this, pull them out, go into Blender, change it, then put it on a new skeleton in Blender, put a retargeter on both skeletons, click retarget, done. Problem is, I know a lot of Unreal, I understand that some others don't, but when you're trying to give a solution for something that you can no longer fix, because I deleted all the old things because I wanted to detach, because they told me you have to go, right? I tried to give a solution, and the solution is shut down, and they make an announcement about, oh, dog threw all the files away, the mods are unretrievable, and we have to now look through the dirt for all these files, which are not even the actual game files. That is the problem that I had, and that's when I started to be like, okay, I'm not helping anymore then. Potentially, I could get something from Dropbox if I send them a ticket for those files, potentially. But when people want to shoot you down so willingly and fast over those actions and forget everything you did for them to enable them, I think, I just didn't want anything to do with it anymore. I still have all this. Technically, I can still update. Hell, technically, this one is obviously nicked out completely. They have all the files anyway. Beaver messaged me. I gave him the files for that because obviously I didn't throw that away. I think I'm stupid, This one I'm still updating myself. That is contractual. Obviously that will happen. Velociraptor is another one. It's not a commission, by the way. Some people think it's a commission. It's not a commission. Very much I did Velociraptor for Sadek, who makes the Velociraptor for Veloci. Unpaid of that. I tried to transfer it to Ek. Ek doesn't really want to because they don't have the time and stuff. So I will probably keep updating that one as well, unless they find someone else to want to update it, I guess. But those two I will probably just keep updating until end of times. Nick does same thing because technically contractual. So if they want updates, I'll give them updates whatever they want. DB itself, I'm very much at the point, and that might be very rush, and people told me, like, please don't leave and just make it dead. But I'm just like at a point where it did too much to my mental health, and that detachment is needed. If I don't detach, I'm gonna go more miserable, and I'm going to go into a depression that I don't want to be in, basically. So the future. If there's anyone from the mod team that hasn't talked to me yet, and there's quite a lot, that still need something, or they want something that they worked on, that was a future project or whatever, they can message me. Obviously, I always will have their back, even if they believe it or not. And if people want to talk normally and not, make everything as if I'm some sort of evil person, then I will have their back too. In that sense, it is like, you can betray me, but, you didn't mean that little to me, That is about everything of the situation. Obviously, I made a very terrible mistake that I shouldn't have done. And yeah, that's something I will need to get past, which I think I will, but that will need a big detachment from all this bullshit. And that's about it. I want to thank everyone in the DB community always for the support. The modders, I hope I gave you like foot in the door when there was no chance. I hope that you guys could grow. I hope that you guys, take that experience and, work for other teams or for yourself and make whatever you want to make, because you guys can. You guys all are insanely talented, so, keep going and, do what you guys do best. As for the admins, both X and, last iteration, I love you guys. You guys did, a lot for the server. I hope you guys felt like, protected, in a sense. I hope that you guys had fun. And, I hope that, the future is as bright for you guys as ever. And that leaves me to only the developers. Developers, thank you for the chance. Making mods, it was fun. I was able to hone my skills as much as I wanted to. I had big plans Sadly, some of those plans are just not going to go into fruition. Or if they will, then it will be in a very long time. So just thank you for the good experience, and I will for sure take that experience to wherever the pet takes me now. I hope that this is something that will make people kind of understand the situation. It was just very much and in my case, and I'm not the only one. Other people have for sure been hurt. Other people have it rough. Again, don't go after people for my sake. Don't. Just don't. And support each other, keep supporting each other. I hope, there's a lot of good to come from the modding community. And there's some really good talent in there. So keep supporting it. Alright, that was my ramble over about this whole situation. I hope it makes a little bit more sense and that you see a little bit like where I was coming from. Did I make mistakes? Sure. Do I deserve blame for that? Yes, I do. I need to learn from this as well, and you're never too old to learn. So I'm gonna try to make this mean something and become better day by day, and that's about it. Okay, thanks for listening, and I hope everyone will have a blessed rest of their life.